Hey there, wonderful souls. Welcome back to Paradox of Serenity, the space where we embrace the chaos, celebrate the calm, and uncover stories that matter. Today, we're stepping into the world of someone who's been turning ambition into action since she was barely a teen. Think AI, ML enthusiast, global scholar, public speaker, leader, and a force connecting tech, creativity, and impact on a scale that's nothing short of inspiring. Before I tell you more, take a deep breath, get comfortable, and prepare to meet someone who will not just share her journey but spark something in you to chase your own. Today's guest is a force where curiosity meets action. From earning scholarships at some of the world's most competitive programs to leading global initiatives in tech, education, and social impact. She's been on a mission to blend innovation with purpose. Whether she's coding AI/ML projects, speaking on international platforms, mentoring students, championing causes from mental health to climate action, Aarushi Chottani brings a rare mix of intellect, empathy, and drive. She's not just building skills; she's building bridges between technology and humanity, proving that age is no barrier to making waves. Welcome to Paradox of Serenity, Aarushi. It's an absolute honor to have you with us today.
I am so honored to be introduced by you like that, and you pretty much summed up everything about what I've been doing, Geetika. And if I had to introduce myself in short, to just add on to whatever you mentioned, I'm just that one kid who couldn't pick one lane and decided to build a whole intersection instead.
That is great to hear. I think it's great to be a jack of all trades, even though people do not really go into that method. But then, obviously, being a jack of all trades has its own advantages, and we're so glad to see an example sitting in front of us. So, Arushi, with your permission, I'd like to begin the main interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead.
All right. So let's dive into the first question. So the first segment is the question and answer. Okay, so you've been diving into coding, AI/ML, and web development while also legit. So what first sparked that passion for blending tech with change making?
So this all starts from, back to my school days when I was doing a lot of things like all other students. You're into a lot of things, exploring yourself and coming to know who you actually are and what interests you. So like you've already mentioned, I'm an inspiring developer, an AI/ML enthusiast, public speaker who somehow just balance coding projects with debate tournaments, and the list goes on. Research papers, occasional community projects. So I think it's something that you kind of find out about yourself along the way. You just keep doing things. You keep earning scholarships and leading teams, building stuff that you can just look back to and be proud of yourself. Stuff that lives on the internet, and somehow you just one day are sitting and you convince people to to hand yourself my.
Definitely, it is. All right, so the next question is from building apps and pitching global ideas to collaborating with teams across continents, how has your journey in tech and leadership evolved so far?
Okay. So, if I have to give you a background about how stuff has been going around, so it started with a very simple idea that I really want to do something which goes beyond academics, and like I didn't want to restrict myself only to particular things, of course, the day-to-day academics and then the basic tech stuff that I was doing. So, along with whatever I mentioned, right, about the AI, ML stuff and coding projects and public speaking, I'm also into research, writing, performing arts, community work. Academically, if I have to talk about a little bit about how everything began, I was a very academically focused child early on, and I was very restrictive because of that. So I got featured and got recognition from Vedantu and ATS Educate awards, the 19th Institute. So everything was going fine. Multiple Olympiads from SOF and as companies. It was happening. It was going very well. But then I wondered, okay, let's just sort of see what else I can do and sort of find out who I am. And so I think then I just started attending multiple summer program, science quizzes, robotics club project. 20, sorry, I've been a caller of the season 14, with philosophy and finance blockchain. So I think it's something like that I've been doing on the tech front. Apart from that, I think I made research paper writings. Two of them are under the process of publication. Then I also now I'm just focusing mainly on spreading the idea of debate through Outreach Debate India, where I'm appointed newly as a branch director. So it's really a lot of stuff that's been happening, and I will do more.
Wow. So speaking of so many phenomenal projects and experiences that you've had, was there a specific project or experience where you thought, okay, yes, this is the space that I'm meant to be in?
I think there were two, if I'm allowed to mention two of them. So I think one of them was, yeah, so one of them was very personal to me. As I mentioned, I was a part of Code with Flossie, which is, by the way, if you guys don't know, it's basically like a tech sort of a summer camp. You can choose from data science and web development and other niche niche problem statements and stuff like that. So I think I chose data science this June, and we had a 2-week summer program. So we made a website called the Mental Gap Project with like a global team, and it was about it was focused on mental health disorders and how people have actually faced that and overcome that stuff that goes on around the world. So that was something very close to me if I talk about the personal front. But if I talk about something that I'm very proud of and what I can see myself doing in the future is like projects was conceptualizing TikTok agoristically, something that Gen meets their attention span of a goldfish. So like you can get yourself educated on stuff using an app which you would rather use for entertainment. That is something I worked on. I conceptualized an idea, and I got a good amount of scholarship for that as well. I think those two projects are very close to my heart.
That is great to hear about. And I think both of these projects have a huge real impact in the real world, and way to go, obviously. So the next question is, you worked on initiatives tackling mental health education and equity. In your experience, how much priority does mental health actually get in these spaces? And how do you ensure it's part of the conversation?
So I think now that I've been working with a lot of organizations, I'd say mental health is something a lot of people care about. And even when I was a part of all these summer camps, I think we used to have mandatory, brain break sessions and people discussing about how, like sort of academics have been having a toll on them or whatever. But I think mental health is really important for everyone nowadays. And even these, whatever programs that I was a part of, most of them had something known as a capstone project that you had to do at the end of the almost everyone made and raising awareness about that. I think it's very important. And even the organizations that I worked with a edtech organization, which was basically working for equal privileges to tier 2 and tier 3 students, who live in tier 2 and tier 3 cities in India. Even they made sure they have like a different, like there was a position, like it was called the CX. So whatever experiences you've been having with the companies, everyone treating you well. So I think it's a very important part of all the organizations that I've been a part of.
Right, definitely it is. Mental health in itself is a huge part of ourselves, and wherever we go, we carry it with ourselves. So now at this point, all of us know that practical exposure and actually doing something on field has a lot more impact than our classrooms, textbooks, or academics in general. But if you were to tell, some specific things that your internship, fellowships, and NGO work have taught you that if that no classroom or textbook ever could, what would that be?
Okay. I think that would be that, people say that you are one sort of a, You need to choose who you are. You need to find who you are. I think that process figured out what say you're getting into college, right? You choose your major, but you really don't stop knowing about yourself even after you've graduated and you're working. I think limiting yourself to time you should not do to yourself. You should keep exploring. And while at school, I think that is something that cannot teach you. I think schools and textbooks can't teach you that. You need to get on fields. You need to start exploring different stuff in order to understand who you actually are as a person. And I don't just say that as a part of your skill set or your sort of emotional and like sort of emotional front who you are. I think it also includes of how you perceive the society and how you sort of gauge different people's stuff. I think it's extremely important not to lose yourself. That is something I would definitely recommend.
Definitely. So the next question is, what would you say to young people who explore opportunities like scholarship, research, or activism, but always feel too intimidated or unqualified?
I would like to say that everyone starts from somewhere, and you should never compare your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 10. That is one of the greatest advice I've got, and I would like to share it further. You should get started from somewhere, because if even I was a person who was like very scared to start, and I had great FOMO and stuff, like, okay, these people have done so much more than I could have ever done, and how are they so accomplished at such a tender age? So I think something I would like to say is that if you don't start now because of all these fears, people are just going to get ahead of you. Like, you need to start, even if I do. And the first thing I do is get on platforms which help you with these opportunities. You need to get into Discord servers, WhatsApp communities, the LinkedIn, sort of groups. Make a LinkedIn if you don't have one yet. It is a great platform to get opportunities and other sources. You make connections, you make networking, you get a lot of networking opportunities, and I think that is the way to go. Just you need to get over the fear, and that's how you can start. I think that's actually anything in life. You need to do that in order to get ahead in life.
Right, those are some amazing tips to move further in this area. Now, let's begin with a rapid fire round. So you have to just answer whatever is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear these questions. Like, or non-tech book you'd recommend to every 16-year-old?
I think so. I actually major, if I have to sort of deviate from the books, I am very much into podcasts and online videos. I would really recommend you guys to start reading books and me recommend videos, if that's an okay answer.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so one word your friends would use to describe you?
Curious.
Okay, definitely. I mean, curiosity is always best for your development. Who's your best friend? Code or Canva?
Code.
Still instantly.
Psychology.
One myth about leadership that needs to go.
That leadership is about being in front. It's not. It's mostly the good leaders are standing at the back cheering for you, and it's like gardeners tending to the soil, creating your distance.
Or ultimate comfort food after a long coding session.
Ramen.
If you could collaborate with any creator, innovator, or who would it be?
Love to collaborate with Shrutika Kumar.
With that, we come to the end of the rapid fire, and I have just one last question. So this has been such a value-packed conversation, but before we wrap, Aarushi, what's one key message you'd like to share with our audience about making an impact in the tech-driven world we live in today?
I think more, I think there's a lot of things that have been happening for impact, right? But one thing I would really want to emphasize here is that we should always keep in mind that whatever we're feeding into, the system, whatever we're trying to code, we should make sure it is ethical, sustainable, and does not have all the that might not be good for the society. I think it is very important to be ethical while creating tech. That is something I'd like to say.
Right. So with that, we come to end of all the questions for our interview, and that's a wrap on yet another inspiring episode of Paradox of Serenity. From tech innovation and global leadership to mental health advocacy and community impact, Aarushi Chottani has shown us what it means to chase purpose with persistence. Anushi, thank you for sharing your story with such honesty and energy. You've reminded us that making an impact isn't about waiting for the right time. It's about starting where you are with what you have and growing from there. To our listeners, we hope today's it's to take your first step towards something meaningful, steering and thought-provoking episodes right here on Paradox of Serenity. And hey, don't forget to explore Arushi's journey on LinkedIn, Medium, and all the incredible projects that she's been a part of. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and stay inspired. Thank you.